how I hit 50K months as an online fitness coach is what I'm covering today, and I'll explain how you can do the same. This is part 2 in a 3-part series. In part 1, I talked about how I hit 10K months and how you can do the same. And then in part 3, I'll talk about how I hit 100K months, and again, how you can do the same. So let's just dive straight in, right? So like I said in the last episode, I explained how I got to 10K per month and then explained how you could do the same. So we're going to continue from where we left off, right? So when I built my online coaching business, I got to 10K per month, and beyond that, to be honest, just keeping things really simple, loads of conversations, getting people great results, primarily focused on one social media channel, which at the time was my Facebook personal profile, and growing like local authority, really. Most of my clients were local to me, and my network, I suppose, was growing out from them, and that's how I started reaching new people. Getting to 50K per month is a bit different. We introduce some complexities. Pricing becomes really important, potential additional products, team, how you fulfill the service, marketing, everything becomes slightly more complex. So I got 10K per month, and then grew to 60 one-to-one online clients. My pricing for the most part was anywhere between 250 to 350 pounds per month. So let's say, I don't know, 350 to 500 US dollars per month, something like that. I built up to 60 one-to-one online clients, and for me, I didn't enjoy that. It was too many clients for me to work with. I've got clients now who work with 100 plus, and they're happy, they're getting clients great results. Not for me. So I reduced back down slowly to about 40 one-to-one online clients, and that's where I was happy, right? I was enjoying life. It was the amount of fulfillment from it, or service fulfillment, that I wanted to do. But I still wanted to grow. I wanted to grow revenue. I wanted to grow the business. I just had ambition to do more, right? What's next? What's next? What's next? So I continued to increase pricing. The pricing that I've just mentioned is kind of where we sat. And then I started to have to get better at marketing, right? I built my email list. I was more proactive on my Facebook personal profile still, and my Facebook business page back in the day. That was a profile or a channel that you could really use to get clients, right? And that's kind of how I built up a one-to-one online client base for myself. And then over the course of maybe year 1, fully online, a coaching team as well. So I ended up with 3 other coaches working with me. The big aha moment for me was launching a second product, because it took the pressure off trying to sell this one-to-one online service all the time. So I launched a $97 group program. Actually, I have loads of variations as I was figuring this out. But for the most part, it was £97 actually, not dollars. It was called Project Lean. And again, the duration varied as I was figuring it out. We tried 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. For the most part, it was an 8-week group program. And this is something that you guys probably won't be able to do nowadays. But that was sold almost entirely via Facebook ads. So we used to get customers from Facebook ads for this £97 program for £20 to £40. Straight to sale. No calls, no conversations, no opt-ins, just straight to sales page, and people would buy. The only issue we had is that it just didn't scale. So it always broke. We always managed to get about 100 I'd say anywhere from 100 to 200 sales per month into that group. So we launched it every single month, right? So we would run ads for 2-3 weeks for the start of the month. Then as soon as the new program started, we'd start running ads for the next one. So every single month we had a new program started. So there was overlap of multiple group programs at the same time. But that was every single month, let's say on average, 15K per month in group program sales. We delivered it as a group. And then the real upside really was just knowing that we could always retain. I'd put upsell 15% to one-to-one online coaching. We didn't always do that because we didn't need to. So, but as a KPI, that's what it used to be. Like if we were trying hard to sell one-to-one coaching off the back of this, then 15% is what we could manage. So 15 new one-to-one online clients off the back of a group program with 100 people in it, like clockwork. So this was the major breakthrough for me being able to go from grinding to 20k, 30k months maybe, to exploding past 50k and beyond. This is kind of the model we continued with beyond 6-figure months, to be honest. So that was the big breakthrough for me. I had 3 other coaches, myself, all active in the groups. The groups were really well run, and working with one-to-one online clients who had the group program generating, let's say on average, 15k per month. And then I would work with often less than 40 clients, slowly decreasing. 30 was where I was most of the time after this kind of period, with the other clients, with the other coaches working with anywhere from like 50 to 80 one-to-one online clients at a time. And that's how we grew beyond 50k per month. That was my model at the time. So I've already mentioned why this probably isn't realistic for you to do today, and that's because straight to sale ads from Facebook to a group program probably isn't going to happen for you, because it's just a different time now and ads just don't work that way. So the good news is I've got loads of clients around this point and beyond. So it's like my sweet spot, right? Coaches coming to me either already around this point or with momentum looking to break through this milestone. And there are plenty of ways to do it. And I don't think it's different now to how I did it, but I don't necessarily think it's more difficult per se. Definitely not the fulfillment element of it. So for you, like what's important, right? What's important for, I'd say 90% of you watching this is getting full with one-to-one online coaching clients and charging well for it. I'd say as a minimum $350 per month if you're in the UK, £250 per month, and then gradually increasing it as demand allows you to. We'll talk about how demand is created and how to generate leads and clients in just a moment. But that's step one for most of you watching this. There is an exception where we maybe need to look at a different product to take advantage of particular assets that you may have. For example, if you've got a massive audience. So 80-90% of you, this is where we're going, right? We're trying to get full with one-to-one online clients. Whilst doing that, or how we do that, is a continuation of how we get to 10k months. It's just improving, like continuing to create great content, build an audience. And this kind of goes here, right? We develop our organic content strategy. It could be YouTube, it could be Instagram, whatever. Are we generating enough conversations with new people every single day? If not, this isn't good enough yet. If we are, cool, right? That's the path to growth. Still, just loads of conversations with potential clients. And we'll talk about paid ads and how we can maybe start more conversations in just a moment. So that's step one, right? Are you organically doing the right things? And once you get to a point where you can afford to do so, paid advertising becomes an option. So you don't have to do paid ads. You don't have to do organic, right? If you have the budget for ads right away. But I would usually say, like, be publishing great content because it's going to help with the ads. So the most common ad funnel, if you like, for online fitness coaches today is new follower ads, and then you being really proficient at turning those new followers into conversations and calls booked, right? The big mistake people make with ads is thinking that ads are the important piece, right? Everybody watching this video can run follower ads, right? Really easy. The mistake or the failure that happens is after the ad, right? So I've got clients now doing, let's say, 80 to 120k pounds per month, and this is their entire business. They just run follower ads, and then they have a team or a setter on it with all new followers, starting conversations, getting calls booked, and then calls being closed, right? That's the important piece, not necessarily the ad itself. That just provides pipeline, really, right? Lead flow. It's the back end to that that's super important. So everybody can run follower ads. Are you in a position and are you prepared to do what's necessary to make them profitable is what's super important. So the two main ad campaigns that you could be running this is going to be right for most of you, follower ads. VSL funnel ads, so sending people to a video sales letter and then being able to fill an application or just book a call, is another funnel. It's just harder. I think for most of you watching this, it's harder because you may not be competent at filming a good VSL, scripting a good VSL, filming a good VSL, and getting all the pieces right that needs to be right for a VSL funnel to work. If you're in the UK, anecdotally, VSL funnels are really difficult for consumers, which you guys are primarily selling to, right? You're selling B2C. US, I've seen it work incredibly well. But for the most part, most of you should just run follower ads and then have a really robust process for all your new followers to start conversations. So it's still really a similar business to getting to 10K per month. We're just trying to scale lead flow, right? At the front end, right? Obviously, I've not spoke about hiring and team and fulfillment yet, but that's what changes. We just need better content. There's going to bring more people into your world. We can amplify that by using ads. And then we need to be really proficient and on it with what happens to the followers that we have and the new followers that come in. And what needs to happen is loads of conversations and attempts to get people booked in to calls. This isn't the only way, but primarily for most of you, that should be the way. And then if you are doing these things correctly, your audience will grow. They will be engaged. So if you're building awareness and attention and bringing new people into your world through the ads or through content, if you're doing it well, you will. You should be nurturing that audience. Again, if you're creating content well, you will. And then we have opportunities to mop up everyone who doesn't just buy from a DM, right? Just because you're doing really well at DMing people and getting calls booked in, it's still going to be a small percentage of your audience that do that. So what we need are a few, again, organic campaigns that you can use to mop people up. So for example, these direct response style campaigns that are purely organic, and I've chosen ones that are decent on Instagram because I know most of you are on there. It can just be rolled out every month. So it could be January. Don't follow this cadence, but for example, January, you do a giveaway campaign. And I've talked about these campaigns in a previous video on my channel. So make sure you subscribe and go check out that video. It's called The 9 Best Ways to Get Clients from Instagram. So giveaway campaign, January. February, you run a challenge campaign. March, run a wolf whistle campaign. April, go back to this. May, then this again. June, then this again, right? And you can just rotate through so that every single month you are giving people a different route into the business other than just have a conversation, try and get booked in a call. They could potentially win a giveaway campaign. They can take part in a paid or a free challenge or a workshop or whatever it may be, where you get to further nurture them. They can see how great you are and then sell to them. Or it could just be a case of they didn't buy right away via DMs, but they've been enjoying your content and now just need to be really direct and say, hey, if you want to work with me, here's what to do. So we also just need a few of these campaigns scheduled for throughout the year. And these work really well on Instagram. We can also be running this stuff via email as well. So we've got our evergreen attempts to get online clients, which are have as many conversations as we can have with people in DMs, get them booked in for calls, sell. And then we have your content that ideally increases people's desire to work with you as well. So CTAs, client results, all leading people to either more conversations or clicking links or whatever. And then we have these mop-up campaigns that happen every month, these direct response style campaigns that take care of everybody else, right? And the other route we have, the other option we have, and by the way, we can do all of this or just some, is another offer, is another product. So using my business as the example where I was doing a £97 group program, you could do that, right? There are a lot of people that primarily offer a £97 group program, get 50 people in, 100 people in, knowing that they will upsell 10%, 15%, 20% of those people into their one-to-one coaching service. I've worked with clients in the past who are getting hundreds of people into their group programs and then selling people into a £99 a month or a slightly low, not quite high ticket one-to-one, but not necessarily super cheap either, and doing 6-figure months, starting with the group program as the main offer that they would sell day in, day out, and only selling the slightly more expensive stuff on the back of that, right? If you have a massive audience, that could absolutely be the only way that's going to work for you. Because if you just only offer one-to-one and you've got a massive audience and loads of demand, your options really are only charge a lot of money or have a really complex team, right, to fulfill this service and manage it all. So you could alternatively go for group programs or low ticket recurring, and it could work better for you. But we could use paid products as, yes, to generate revenue, or just because we know it's a good front end offer to sell into one-to-one. Again, track progress, hit 50K months, scale is achieved. These are the ways that most of my clients are achieving it nowadays. For the most part, not that complex, to be honest. So what considerations do we have in marketing, sales, and fulfillment? Marketing and what changes from trying to hit 10K months? We do want to grow our audience. You get a lot of people say, oh, you don't need to go viral. You don't need to grow a massive audience. No, you don't need to, but it helps. Makes things easier, right? Makes having conversations with new people easier. So we want to grow our audience, whether it's through paid or organic. We want to have more conversations, as many conversations as we can, every single day. Introduce paid ads at this point if you want to, or if you feel you need to in order to generate demand. And you may need to hire a setter. You probably will at some point in this journey towards 50K per month, hire a setter. Having said that, I didn't. I also relied heavily on that group program to generate leads effectively. So I didn't need a setter in my Instagram DMs. I didn't even use Instagram. We just had us as a coaching team building relationships in the group program and then selling off the back of that. But that's probably your first hire in a marketing perspective. You can obviously hire creatives as well. So whether it's a videographer to help you with video, whatever that may be. Sales, same as before, right? We're still selling the same way we're selling when we're trying to get to 10K per month, right? The only difference is if you add in a group program, you can go straight to sale, right? So direct to sale for your group programs or anything else. You don't need calls for a £97 group program or a $29 a month app. And then you can still do calls when you're selling to people off the back of those programs. And fulfillment, this is where we get to a point now where we can't just build as we go. We need SOPs. We need to ensure that regardless of who in your team a client is working with, it's the exact same experience every single time. We need a clearly defined client journey. This is how we do check-ins. This is how we communicate. This is the kind of language we use. This is the kind of people and the kind of coaches that we are. Here's what happens in these situations. So we do need clear and defined SOPs. Obviously, it's time to hire a coaching team. At this point, you're going to have to. Like I said, refine the systems, SOPs. And it's also, at this point, we're going to require KPIs to measure performance, whether that's retention. If you have a setter, I probably wouldn't advise a closer yet, still, to be honest. A lot of the coaches that I work with do have one. You probably need to hire a setter once you're at a point where you're getting 3, 4, 5 calls booked per day. I wouldn't do it before that. I would just do it myself, if I'm being honest. So, getting to 50K per month, top diagram is how I did it. Bottom one is how you should do it today. Next video, I'm going to cover 100K months, where again, we just continue to add slightly more complexity, especially around the team we need, the spend that's required, and how sales change. So a lot changes actually as we grow beyond this milestone. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below.